So you said you worked on bikes in the front. So
Yeah.
tell me about your first bike. How did you get it?
Well, I never had a first bike. What happened was that Dolores had a bike for centuries, okay, a girl's bike. And then one Christmas, I noticed that Severino had under the tree was a nice bike. I hoped it was for me, but it was for him. And he used it a lot. His route, his newspaper route, came in handy, and it had a siren, like you pull this cord, and this rotor spins around on the tire, and it sounds like an ambulance. It really did, and you had to get rid of it one time, or finally, because I think when the cops noticed that he was doing that, and, well, it was loud and it sounded like an ambulance, and so uh, he got too grown up to be a newspaper person. He turned the route over to me, and I was happy with it. But then I discovered very soon that a lot of people were deadbeats. They just never would pay. They'd sneak out of the house when I came to collect the 30 cents.
So did you have to pay him for the bike?
I don't remember. I think I did. I think I gave him $1 a week or something.
Now, what year or how old would you have been at this time?
Well, let's see. I was already in high school. I was probably a freshman, maybe a sophomore. And at the time, I was feeling that I'm too old to have a newspaper route because I wasn't paying. I was gobbling up all the profits. I would stop and chat with somebody at First Street Grocery. I'd have a Coke, which I had to pay for, and yeah, those things.
Do you think that the paper route that you had eventually led you into a career in journalism?
Uh, I'd never been asked that question. I never thought about that. I think in some ways it did because I was there all the time. And then I think the coach one time said, you go to the optical lot, everybody sees your bike here, and we see you on the bike. I think what he told me was that he thought I should be working at the optic. So I applied for a job and got it right away.
Now, when would this have been?
This would have been 55, 56 maybe. And I would...
Okay, so you'd have been getting out of high school at the time?
No, I'd be still be in high school.
Okay.
I would go after school and put in the hours. But I was working maybe 20 hours a week. I'd go to school. And
now, where was the optic in those days?
The optic was... well, do you know where the youth clinic is? Do you know where 7th Street is? And Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
A big two-story building here.
It was just 10 years ago. It was still there.
Yeah, it's still there. The structure is there, but the optic abandoned that.
Right.
Ago.
Yeah. No, I didn't realize that. So it was there for decades.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It may have been one of the oldest businesses in town, but I can't prove it.
How did you learn to drive?
Severino taught me.
In what car?
Well, we had a Ford DeSoto. Have you ever heard of a DeSoto?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was not, most cars were not automatic in those days, but this one had a funny arrangement where you put in first gear and you gas it until it clicks. Then you take your hand or your foot off the accelerator and shift into second gear. And then second also had another gear, 4 gears. And you could hear the little click. And then you knew that you were in 4th gear.
Wait, was that the first car that the family had?
Yeah.